Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Freed, and I'm the founder of National Inventor Club. Thank you all for joining us. Big night tonight. We have an incredible guest. Let's get into a few things first. I just like to mention a couple weeks ago, the end of March, we had the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, National Inventor Club, Inventor Day. And we had about 50 inventors and their spouses and friends come and join us for an amazing day. Thank you to Elizabeth Doherty for hosting us. She's the regional outreach officer there and director, and she really put on a great agenda. We learned about patents and trademarks and commercializing our invention and the resources that are available to the inventors. I'd like to also give a shout out to Sean Taylor and Samantha St. Raymond for their support in making it all possible. And that was a lot of fun. We've been doing this for every year for the last 3 years. We're going to do it again. So in order to find out about our next Inventor Day at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, we actually took a trip to Alexandria, Virginia, and we had a chance to walk the office there and really connect and collaborate and get some great valuable information. So if you'd like to learn more about it, you can join National Inventor Club. Very easy. You go on nationalinventorclub.com. There's a link on there, or there's a subscriber area. You can put your information there and stay up to date on what we're doing. And we also have the Inventor Smart Community app, which National Inventor Club is rolled up into. And you can find the Inventor Smart Community app on the Google Play or the Apple App Store. And you can find the black and orange icon for you to download it. It's free. Premium subscribers, there's premium and there's also freemium. So you can join and make a nice profile for yourself and keep connected with other inventors out there. Another fun event that I had just last week, I met with a local small business development center. They're a division of the Small Business Administration. I was out in Stony Brook, New York, which is in Long Island, and had a chance to meet with the advisors there and talk to them about when an inventor shows up, what happens and what they do and how we can work together. So I'm sure you can find a local small business development center in your area. You could go to americassbdc.com and you can find most likely on a campus near you. If you're looking for help with connecting with local resources, business plans, grants at certain times where appropriate, a lot of great information there. So take advantage of your local SBDC, Small Business Development Center. Also, I wanted to mention, I just put out an article in the Invention Playbook. So I have an Invention Playbook website, inventionplaybook.com. And I put out an article that was just published. And I've gotten some great feedback. Thank you if you're one of them. And the title is What Every Inventor Needs to Know About AI. If you used AI to help come up with your invention, is it still yours? That's the question. So spoiler is yes, it is. And the USPTO, the US Patent and Trademark Office, backs it up. So in the chat, you will see the links. What I'm going through and mentioning here, you'll take a look and you can see the links in the chat. You're more than welcome to take a look at those resources as we work and listen to our amazing guest tonight. By the way, we have another interview that we did just recently with the Director of Strategic Initiatives at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Jason P. Clark. We talked about America's 250th birthday and what the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has planned. And we also covered, very interesting, National Medal of Technology and Innovation. It's the highest honor in the U.S. for technology achievement, awarded by the president. And they're taking nominations right now. So if you or someone you know deserves recognition, definitely take a look at that interview. And you'll see the links that are within that interview for you to nominate somebody or possibly yourself, something that's really changed the world. Another really interesting topic, since we're in April 2026, tax season, right? Oh boy. Well, for the last, I don't know how many years, even when I was doing before National Inventor Club and I was running my local inventor clubs, I always had this topic in April. Is your invention or your business idea a tax write-off? Good question. So take a look in the chat. There's some links there for some previous interviews that we had. You can either use that link. You can always find them on the National Inventor Club YouTube channel, and also in the Inventor Smart community app. We do have an area there for all our previous archived interviews. So you could definitely take advantage there. And I mentioned a couple times the Inventor Smart community app. It's free to join. We do have premium subscription available. It's a great way for us to stay connected between meetings, to help and support each other. And we're all in this together. That's what it's all about. And I have Andy Katz. He is our VP of Operations. I'm going to put him on here for a moment. Andy, welcome.
Hey,
How you
Ryan.
doing?
Thanks. Good to be here.
So all those amazing emails and the newsletters and just staying connected, setting up all the events and activity. Andy, thank you for doing what you do. You're making us strong and stronger all together. You're keeping it all together for us. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you. You know how to make me blush.
You have a couple announcements for us. What's happening behind the scenes? What's coming up next? What can the inventor community look forward to?
Yeah. So this coming Monday, April 13th, we have our monthly community hangout. So it's really just a great time for all the inventors who are part of the community, or even if you're not yet a part of the community, it's just a good opportunity to come and make the journey a little bit less lonely. Because being an inventor could be lonely sometimes. So we always have a fun time, and definitely encourage you to come and hang out. We have, we do our weekly newsletters. Those go out on Monday as well. But this next Wednesday, April 15th, we have our monthly newsletter, which is like a big digest. So you definitely have to check that out. And if you're not already subscribed, it's easy to do so. You either just join the app, or you could go to Brian's website or the National Inventor Club, and you'll see some email signups there. So definitely get on the list if you're not already on the list. And then towards the end of the month, Wednesday, April 29th, we have our monthly Ask the Inventor Coach. So if you're, that's for premium members of the Inventor Smart Community app. So if you are a premium member, it's a really great opportunity to have a direct one-on-one with Brian. It's a really small setting, and it's a really great opportunity to have your questions asked. Brian is the inventor coach. He's got all the experience you'd want. So definitely come. If you're not a premium subscriber, it's super easy to become so. Just go to the Inventor Smart app. You'll see we have a premium sign-up option. So it's really easy to join, and I encourage you all to do so.
Thank you very much. And when we have the Ask the Inventor Coach and those Q&A sessions, it's not just me. We also talk to each other. Each other gives ideas and how to figure out things, and other people that have been in real situations, and that's what it's all about. We're all here to help each other and keep our ideas moving forward. That's what it's all about. So thank you, Andy. We will see you again soon, and we're looking forward to the next upcoming emails and activity that's happening. So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Well, this week, I sat down with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office Director, John Squires. He is the Undersecretary of the Department of Commerce, the 60th Director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And this conversation, every inventor needs to hear. Let's get into it. Welcome to the National Inventor Club. My name is Brian Freed, and today I am honored to have Undersecretary of the Department of Commerce and the Director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, John Squires. Welcome to National Inventor Club.
Thank you, Brian. It's great to be here.
We've had a chance to meet in person, and through your office, who's very active working with independent inventors, we've had a chance to really connect and work on several initiatives for the inventor community. But John, if you could start off by telling us about your background and what led you to this role. You're now the director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Brian. It's certainly an honor. I'm the 60th director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Our office has just shy of 15,000 employees, and our annual budget, we're a fee-based agency, is just shy of $5 billion. So it is an amazing honor and stewardship. But my background, the road here, I just got back from speaking at a conference in Nashville at the Vanderbilt Music Law Summit. And I got to say, I feel a little bit like the Johnny Cash song when I think about this. That's I've been everywhere, man. So undergraduate, I have a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. And I didn't really like central research and lab so much. So I ended up getting a job right out of college with IBM in their marketing and systems engineering division, the old Systems 38, and which gave way to AS400s for those of a certain age. And then I got involved in their value-added remarketing programs, which was representing a bunch of small businesses and remarketers to the company. That got me interested in law. So I ended up going to law school after working for about 5-6 years, and graduated law school, and then came to one of the famous boutique firms that's unfortunately no longer around, Morgan & Finnegan. And the very first client I worked for was W.L. Gore, a Delaware company, whose general counsel at the time is now, we know, as Senator Chris Coons, who certainly knows something about patents. He's been instrumental in moving the system forward from the Senate side of the House. So patents came to Wall Street around 1999, 2000, and I went in-house then at Goldman Sachs. I was their first Chief IP Counsel. Patents were new to Wall Street. There was this trading firm out there, an inventor who basically invented electronic trading. Now is, of course, Commerce Secretary Lutnick. And Brian, you're from Long Island, and so you know when the attacks of 9/11 happened, that was devastating to our area. And I actually survived the attacks that day. And Secretary Lutnick's company, as you know, Cantor Fitzgerald, anybody who was in the building that day was killed. But he rebuilt the company with patents, and he's talked about that. And at Goldman, we did something similar. We basically launched a startup internally and spun it out to 20 banks and broker-dealers based upon inventions to combat terrorism that have been expedited for examination by the United States Patent and Trademark Office as a result of the USA Patriot Act. So patents allowed us there to do the things that that they're supposed to do: get into the marketplace, attract capital, attract investment, attract talent. And we formed a public-private partnership to dry up the terrorist financing networks. And we worked with the agency and bureau. In fact, our lead inventor, Goldman Sachs, received a FBI Director's Award for his contributions in building these things out. So later then in 2007, 2008, the questions of patent eligibility started to come as to what was eligible, what was an abstract idea. And we interposed through RDC, Regulatory Data Corp, the company we formed, these anti-terrorist financing patents. And to make the case that this is patent eligibility, this is about national security, and this is what innovation looks like when it's done and delivered to benefit both the public and private sectors. Especially, we had a responsibility to make sure our firms were not used for illicit financial activities.
Very interesting. Some journey. And here you are, the director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So there are many inventors that start off with an idea in their head, and somewhere along the way, they see these letters, USPTO, and we might not necessarily know what that means to start with when we do just first come up with this idea, but maybe you can explain to us what the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, does for inventors, and why does it matter to actually have this United States Patent and Trademark Office?
Oh, thank you. So the USPTO is America's innovation agency. And why do I call it that? The bedrock, the foundation of what we do was written in the Constitution. Over 200 years ago, our founders did something extraordinary. They enshrined IP rights protection directly into the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause I. And this is where they secured a right. It's the only mention of a right in the entire textual document itself. Not the Bill of Rights, but the text of the document. And so the ability to secure exclusive rights for inventors, creators was really economic infrastructure they built into the country from day one. So George Washington, the very first president, of course, of the United States, signed our nation's first patent. And the patent was examined by Thomas Jefferson, who was the nation's first patent examiner and director. So you see, intellectual property is the very fabric of the American experiment, the creative foundation of the American experience, and its economic infrastructure, pure and simple. So on top of this foundation, you have your USPTO letters, as I like to call us again, America's Innovation Agency. And America's Innovation Agency has two foundries, if you want to think about it this way. We have the foundry I call America's Invention Agency for patents. And this is where ideas get turned into assets. It's an examination system based upon an application that's filed. It's ex parte, not adversarial. It just means it's you and the government. You're applying for a patent. And our examiners are charged with helping inventors find the line where their inventive contribution kicks in and what's gone before, known as the prior art, leaves off. And that's where the boundary is. And when we agree on that, where that line is, congratulations, together we're putting a new piece of economic fuel into the stream of commerce. Now, the other foundry, America's Branding Agency, our trademark business unit, trademarks are badges of origin, and they're sources of goods that get put into the stream of commerce, and it's how businesses signal to consumers, this is us, and you can rely on it. So without that, markets get noisy fast, you get counterfeits, confusion, opportunists stepping in. So it's not just your logo or your slogan, it's the economic connective tissue between a company, its reputation, and the marketplace. So if you have the two foundries, of course, next to it, you introduced me as the Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property, as well as Director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Well, the Undersecretary is another function, and there my job is to advise the President on all matters of IP. So I think about it like a McKinsey for the President on IP. It's broader than patents, but if you zoom out, here's why it matters. Every time we issue a patent or register a trademark, we're doing something fundamental from the Constitution. We're turning ideas into rights and rights into incentives. And it's these incentives, those soft dollar assets, as I like to call them, are what drive people to take risk, to invest, to build, to vent. So you think of the USPTO, you think of us as a platform with our foundation in the Constitution. It's a place where American ingenuity gets translated into something that's durable, transactable, and valuable in the real economy.
So as inventors, when we do come up with this idea and we say, you know what, I want to go all the way with this. I want this to change my life, to put something out there into the public for people to use the same reason that I came up with this. And it could be so many different types of intellectual property. But when we do come up with it, we built an asset. When we do get a patent, we have a trademark, different classes of goods, and we're trying to figure out how to commercialize it, maybe to get some kind of activity going with it. So sometimes inventors take the path of licensing to earn royalties. Sometimes we want to manufacture, start our own business, build our brand. But really, what does IP do for us as an independent inventor? Whether we have a patent, a trademark, how does it open doors for us?
A great question. It's you're getting an asset, as you described it. You're getting a property right. You're getting an exclusive right from the government to exclude others from making, using, selling, or offering for sale. On the patent side and the trademark side, rights that denote you as the originator of the goods and services and avoids confusion in the marketplace and gives you a right to be able to order the market. And you have to remember, Governments in general don't like monopolies much. But you bring us a new invention, you bring us a new creative concept about how you identify your goods and services that's distinguishable in the marketplace. Yeah, no, we like that, and it's to be encouraged and goes right back into the Constitution. And I have some numbers just to tell you how important that is. The economic value of having a patent for startups and entrepreneurs, by the numbers, having a patent or patent pending status increases the likelihood of getting funding 53% in the probability of VC funding, 153% increase in the probability of an IPO with a successful patent application, and a 51% increase in the growth of sales. On the trademark side, it's a little bit more hard to quantify, but there's literally trillions of dollars on corporate balance sheet out there from the brand value. If you think about the business asset of any famous company, which is worth more? The people, the desks, the chairs, or its brand value in the marketplace. So you're really talking about assets in a deliverable sense, in a definable sense. And once you start to scale that, you see just economic power.
When I come up with an invention, or I'm working with other inventors in National Inventor Club and the communities, it's really interesting because you realize that having intellectual property gives you that competitive advantage. Or if you're going to license it, gives another company a competitive advantage. And without it, it really allows other people to make it. And just being on different or involved with retailers or online retailers, when I show them that I have a patent that's issued, a trademark, they take them down right away. And that's the power of whether it's you or working with another company to commercialize your invention, build assets. It's powerful these days, I think, more than it used to be. Sometimes patent pending is good. Having an issued patent is powerful. Absolutely. And speaking of that, there's so many inventors that have the dream of having a patent and to being a patent owner and having intellectual property and taking their idea from out of their head to actually seeing it real. But to start with, just as far as the patents and trademarks, I'm just curious, Director Squires, how many patents actually get filed and issued from your office? Maybe I'm asking a little too deep, but between that and the trademarks, if you have some numbers, that would be interesting.
No, it's a great question. And I think it gives you a sense of the scale and importance, not only to the private sector, but to our working with the private sector, as I mentioned, in this ex parte capacity. So I do have some numbers for you. We typically receive approximately 600,000 to 700,000 total patent applications each year. About 70% of those, roughly 475,000, are serialized applications, which we call brand new filings. So brand new, they don't have a lineage to something else. The bulk are what's known as utility applications, which people are more familiar with. Those are the functional products and services. There's a smaller number of design patents, which are ornamental, and plant patents, all very important. But think of the examination as a written negotiation as between the applicant, as I mentioned, and the office to find where that line is. So to find where that line is, each application averages 2.4 examiner actions that lead to a final disposition of the application. And after all that back and forth, approximately 400,000 issued annually. So
Wow.
think of the top of the funnel as large, 400,000 come out. On the trademarks, I was curious about this as well. This year, we'll process more than 600,000 applications with about 900,000 classes.
Wow.
And we'll talk a little bit about where the puck's going, if you will, with respect to trademarks. But this is one of the reasons why we're leaning into AI as tools for our examiners. We have announced, and we're going to turn on full volume next month in our trademark area, a classification and search tool called Class Act. It's an agentic AI tool. and it takes processing time for classifications, pseudomarks, very kind of labor intensive. What used to take 5 months can now take 5 minutes, sometimes 5 seconds. So incredible things are happening, and we want to make sure we're keeping up and able to excel as more and more people are adopting IP, inventing, creating, and need to get to market with their ideas protected real time.
With those numbers, Director Squires, do you have maybe a little drill down into how many of those are inventors, independent inventors, not necessarily corporations on those applications?
Yes, I have some of those figures for you as well. Of the nearly 400,000 applications granted, patent applications granted, as I mentioned, independent inventors received approximately 3% of those granted in 2025, and up significantly this year, 3.5% in 2026 so far. And again, that may not seem like a large percentage, but get this, in 2025, 68% of the patents granted to independent inventors were applications that originated from the U.S., with just over 69% now so far in 2026. So they're coming from U.S. inventors. They're coming from the products of our folks' minds, and they're coming to the Patent and Trademark Office and getting protection.
Wow. So there's an increase. People realize that IP is very important, and it is powerful. It does give you other options, and it does build your assets, which is fantastic. I could say that there's many inventors also that are excited. Like, we get this emotional feeling when we come up with this idea, and we start to search and find. That's why I love the AI tool that you're going to have coming up. I read up on that also. I'm very excited about it. It's just to be able to know for an inventor that we have these resources that are available for us is very important, because a lot of us will come up with the idea and we might start with step 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but we didn't start from the beginning and do our due diligence and our research and development. Just like any business, IP is the same. Most of the time, you want to start off with at least getting a search, understanding what the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office can do for you, because ultimately that's where you're filing and you're going to get your assets from of intellectual property, a patent, trademark, and so forth. So I know that your office has done an amazing job. The USPTO.gov website, other tools and resources that are available for us, Director Squires, if you can share for the independent inventors out there, even startups, entrepreneurs, whatever we want to call ourselves that are watching and listening to this, if you can share some of those for us, that would be great.
Oh, happy to. We have amazing resources available. They're on our site. And just to give you an assessment of a few, we have a pre-prosecution assessment pilot, which is a free program. It's a virtual 2-day workshop to help jumpstart potential inventors. It teaches everything from the public patent database to determine if your idea is novel, do a little bit of legwork to start with. We have a stakeholder application readiness training program called START for independent inventors and entrepreneurs in particular, or anyone working with a small business who's interested in filing a patent application. And they receive training from subject matter experts we have here at the office who have experience in all types of technologies. We have a stakeholder offerings and resources called SOAR, designed for digestible kind of 1 hour long sessions, so you can do it as you're kind of navigating your application through. We have stakeholder training and examination practice. Everything's an acronym, right? So this is STEP, but it's led again by subject matter experts, designed specifically for inventors, small business owners, and entrepreneurs. We have a Pro Say Assistance Center, which has been amazing, that they can assist people with navigating our website, as well as locating forms, helping get files complete. We have a Patents Ombudsman office, and they assist applicants and attorneys throughout the entire application process. We have pre-examination assistance Application Assistance Unit. We have the Inventors Assistance Center, which has always just got high marks for being able to be accessible, explain, demystify things, and be a ready resource for applicants.
When we start off with the idea in our head and we navigate and we end up at USPTO.gov, there is a section on there for inventors and entrepreneurs, resources, and everything that you mentioned is right there. If you're looking for help, maybe you're limited on funds and you'd like to be a patent holder, to go through your pro bono programs and to go through asking questions with that, what you mentioned, the inventor assistance line. You call up, you ask them anything you need, they navigate through. Most of the time, these people have been in your office for 10, 20 years. They're retired and still taking calls. They know the ins and outs of your office. Others that my National Inventor Club community have taken advantage of is the boot camps that your office has. Trademark boot camps, patent boot camps, and we don't necessarily need to take them to actually file. It's just good to know if we're working with a patent attorney or agent to understand what they're doing and just be educated on what is happening through the process. I can also say that even simple tools like the IP lookup tool is to figure out what you actually have and what you call it, and then the direction along the way after that. So your office and your staff there do an amazing job, and I feel like the increase in the independent inventor filing is because there's so much outreach that your office has initiated, and we very much appreciate it. Even a couple of weeks ago, National Inventor Club took a trip to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and we had the red carpet out for our community. It was amazing. You and your colleagues, Elizabeth Doherty, stepped up and put a whole agenda together for us, and we were there strong. And just knowing that your office is there for us is something that we greatly appreciate. So thank you for those efforts and keeping an open door for the inventor community.
Thank you. No, I'm happy that's been such a great experience, and we're really leaning in and doubling down more. It can be very intimidating because it's a complex process to find the right entry point, but we do have the resources that are there on the website. You can kind of digest it or access it any way that's sort of comfortable for your journey, no matter where you're at. But we're also moving the office to where innovation's happening. And we've just moved over now to, and I'm very excited about this, a community engagement office model. We opened our first engagement office at the University of Utah. And the idea is to have the USPTO. So if you get off the elevator on the 5th floor, you see Venture X, you see Technology Transfer Office, you see USPTO. So we're right in the middle of the innovation ecosystems. This is where the percolators are. This is where the accelerators are. This is where the investors are. And it's where the office can help you best. And so that's going to be a growing footprint. And it's so cost effective because we're partnering with the universities and the ecosystems there. And we're making resources available at the top of the funnel where the innovation is happening on both the patent side and the branding side. So we're trying to, we play catch here in Alexandria for the applications coming in, but the innovation is happening where you are. It's happening out where your inventors are residing. It's in their garages. It's at the universities. It's everywhere. Again, it's part of the fabric of what people do and think about all day long. We want to be as accessible as possible.
Even the regional outreach offices, the innovation outreach offices that are around the country that represent the states. You have patent and trademark resource centers that are available at public libraries where the librarians have actually been trained by your office to have almost like a mini search area in there. They're not going to help you with what's your idea, what do you think of my idea, but they're going to help you dig and to take what you find and to compare what you have to make some better decisions if your idea is patentable or not. So keep going and keep those keep your staff and your colleagues cranking out there for all those assets. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you. And as you can see, from your, they love doing it. It's really energetic.
The USPTO has been on this shift. You mentioned a couple times with AI, and I know that there's emerging technologies and various initiatives that are going out. Are there new policies or things that you're do you have a kind of a group that's focused on this, because it's changing on a daily basis? Is there anything that you can share with us, because it is a hot topic in the news these days?
Sure. Well, one of the first things I did in my role, Office of Under Secretary, is I elevated a position for AI advisor to the Office of Under Secretary. So if folks know Rob Hayes, he's come in. He was in the private sector for years. He's heading up our AI policy and operations. And there's really two sides to the AI coin, if you will. There's what we're utilizing to help our operations examiners and throughput. We've come up with an amazing pilot on the patent side called ASAP, and it gives the inventors, applicants, a top 10 list of prior references. So the examiners and the applicants are literally on the same pages with respect to prior art before the first office action. So you have some agency as to what you might want to do with it, amend the claims, marshal your arguments, but better information up front makes for better outcomes. So that's one thing we've been doing on the operational side on patents. I mentioned the Class Act pilot, which is amazing, and trademarks. That's helping tremendously, again, reduce pendency times, increase searching, and assisting the inventors. And then on the policy side, we've made clear that patent eligibility is expansive in this country. We don't know where the onrush of technology is going, but we do know the system the framers set up, and from the very first Patent Act, is expansive. We don't know what the technology will look like tomorrow, but we know how to examine it. We know how to get it to market. The very first two patents I signed, my first day in the office, I have with me. For one on the blockchain distributed ledger area, the other in medical diagnostics. These have been areas there's been a lot of debate, abstract debate on whether they're patent eligible or not patent eligible. We've said, look, here's some guidance as to determine how things, how to make those decisions. Here's how you need to describe and claim or tell us how your invention's applied, not just an abstract idea. We intake subject matter eligibility disclosures, which is basically your recitation of how the invention improves even the system it works on. There used to be back in the day a model requirement. So if you came to the office with you wanted a patent, you actually had to have a model of it. So models are hard to do and prepare when it's an AI system or a piece of software code. But we can take an eligibility declaration to give us an insight into that, how it's applied. We've outlined precedent, a case called NRA Desjardins, which is the Google's DeepMind application that had decision on been conflated between eligibility and patentability. Eligibility means you can come into the door of the United States Patent Office, but you still have to be patentable. You have to be new and non-obviousness and have a written description that matches that up. So we're trying to create some clarity in the systems and to the benefit of innovators out there, letting them know our doors are wide open on the policy side, and operationally, we're there to meet the challenge too.
For us as independent inventors, entrepreneurs, startups, you have so much going on, and your office has all the communication coming out to us. And the question is, where do we get it? So I could give one tip that really has helped me to stay. All these acronyms that you're putting out there, I see them coming out on the newsletters and the announcements. On any page of USPTO.gov, at the bottom, there's a subscriber area. you put your email in there, and it gives you a list of what you're interested in reading about. Sometimes you might check off a little too many, but you find the ones that you're interested in, and you'll see all the activity that your office is doing. I'm talking from my side, but I can see what's going on, what's happening, staying in the know of AI and the activity that's going on. So that's one great resource there for inventors. The other is Director Squires. I always see you on LinkedIn. Your office puts out all these social media posts about history in patents and updates and communication. So all you have to do is just follow on whichever platform that you like, and you're getting this information. But if you really want to drill into some of the real main ones that are hot topics right now, when you do put your name in there and subscribe, all the information is there. So how often are you putting out information? I mean, it seems like there's so much going on in all the divisions of your office.
I mean, we're certainly have the viewpoint that there's the urgency of now and what we're doing. Ideas come in. It's just not acceptable to take years and years to get to the marketplace for those protections. And so we're working on making sure the throughput. I mean, the most important thing we can do is bake quality in. We want the patents and trademarks to be born strong, because if they're born strong, there's marketplace confidence in them, and it'll attract investors, create jobs, have the economic effect it's intended. And there's also, I'm happy that you found the subscriber alerts a great resource. I think it's been wonderfully done. You can see the connectivity. Again, the very first patent issued, signed by President George Washington, was patent number 1. You know, we're now in the 12 millions plus, and each is sequential. And literally, you've heard the saying, we stand on the shoulders of giants. That's the case. And so technology, it's a unitary system. It's available to everybody. Technology invention tends to be more incremental. Life sciences tends to be more molecular in efficacy, but the whole system exists under one roof. We have our examiner corps. You've heard me say this before, I'm sure. They're the best in the world at what they do. They are technically trained, have advanced degrees, STEM degrees, and they're there with this ex parte system to help try to find where that line is, if it's there, and get, fulfill our mission of getting intellectual property protection out the door into the marketplace. But without the inventors, without the creators, we can't do anything.
Thank you for that. So there's quite a bit of outreach within your office that you're sharing to the inventors and corporations and everybody that's really IP related. But there's initiatives that are going on that you're preparing for with your outreach, which you've kind of given me some hints here and there. I don't know the full extent of it, but go ahead, Director Squires. There's a lot of things that your office is doing for inventors, for the patent holders, for the trademark owners, and looking ahead on how you can protect us.
Oh, thanks. So yes, it's very exciting, and we're trying to reimagine the office and its position as to applicants and the marketplace. I've talked about the USPTO, America's Innovation Agency, having 2 foundries: America's Branding Agency, America's Invention Agency. But overall, we look at our role as being the Department of Commerce's central bank of innovation. Every piece of intellectual property that gets put into the marketplace is a potential job. It's a competitive advantage. It's a new business. It's an investable asset. And we look at both sides of the house as to how we can encourage and be there where innovation is happening. We've really taken on, and we're seeing just rapid developments in the marketplace. We talked about AI. Well, over on the branding side of the house and trademarks, one of the major forces and increases in applications we've seen anywhere is name, image, and likeness. And so Matthew McConaughey, who people have been following the news, trademarked his sound and image marks a couple months ago from his Days Confused, all right, line, and some other matters associated with them. Why? To protect his name, image, and license, register these marks now appearing on the Federal Register, which is different than rights to publicity that are state by state based, and to prevent uptake by AI and deep fakes. So that has been from the personal branding area, the starting gun of name, image, and likeness protection, if you will. So fast forward, we have a number of things going on. We have World IP Day coming up at the end of this month. And wouldn't you know, the theme for World IP Day this year is IP in sports. And you have everything that's going on with name, image, and likeness. And also, if you look at collegiate athletics and pro sports, the intersection where that's most pronounced for the number of athletes is the NFL draft. So you're going to see the USPTO have a booth and a presence and broadcast our USPTO hour from Pittsburgh, where the NFL draft is taking place on April 24th in celebration of World IP Day, and a first for the agency. And again, to be immersed into where the IP protections are relevant, have people understand what access can mean to them. And I'm delighted to announce that we're going to have Team USA gold medalist Jack Wallace of Team USA sled hockey. Jack had the hat trick and an assist in the gold medal game. Amazing young man, American hero, and he'll be joining us with our NIL hour there. So come see us.
Wow, congratulations. That, you know what, the NFL draft and all the players and the fans, to see U.S. Patent and Trademark Office there, it almost is like just having the presence there to know that you're there for us and the resources that are available, and that you're kind of putting everything around what you need to protect yourself, your likelihood, your name, your image. It's very important these days, like you're saying, more now, because there's so many easy ways for people to create fakes. And this is a really great way to protect yourself. So thank you for doing that for us. You are working with corporations, and independent inventors are knocking at your door also. What are some top priorities that you have specifically for independent inventors? You know, some of us, we go with the flow where we don't know any better. Some have had other types of situations along the way that maybe we've had to protect our intellectual property. If you can help us, Director Squires, to kind of tell us what your office is doing and looking forward for us to help us out.
Sure. So as I mentioned, it's a unitary system. So we have all walks, which is exactly the way it's designed. And the best and most important thing we can do is quality and make sure the rights are born strong, because that takes care of a lot of problems downstream. So there's the front end where we have all these initiatives, including ASAP, and making sure we can get the relevant prior art in front of people. If you think about AI and you think about a document and homework intensive system like a patent application process is, there's really, we shouldn't be missing prior art. It happens. But now we have the tools and ability to have better information in front of both parties to try to find that line. On the back end, where the office retakes jurisdiction over a patent that's been issued, if there's a quality problem, we've been focused on fairness there. The system, particularly what's the IPR system, has been designed and through the the American Invents Act as an alternative to litigation, but it's become a little bit utilized in other manners that have created issues about fairness, multiple bites at the apple, and we're trying to make sure that the system's fair for everybody. And so on the back end, error always is important. We want to fix the errors that have come, but we also want to make sure that there's the ability to tell your story. And so we've taken into account discretionary factors. IPRs are uniquely discretionary in nature. If you go a re-exam or a post-grant review, there's no discretion there. It's a statutory trigger, but there's a discretion element to the IPRs. And in that, we say there's specific attention given to small businesses and manufacturing in the U.S. On the other side, the system has gotten askew in terms of foreign sovereigns and state actors have been allowed to be in the PTAB, where American agencies and U.S. government has not been. So we've realigned the precedent to make sure everybody's on equal footing, and that particularly American inventors are not subject to attack from real parties and interests who are had been on unequal footing with respect to if they were a foreign sovereign state actor. Now it's straight up. If the U.S. government or agencies can't be in there, neither can someone who's offshore. So we've really put a lot of effort into trying to bring the system back to its first principles and ensure fairness and pay particular attention to the plight of small businesses in U.S. manufacturing.
Thank you for that. It's very important, and we appreciate you and your office's initiatives there to make that happen. As far as the office itself, I'm sure every day for you is a long day filled with twists and turns and a lot of activity coming through your door. But I know that you have some set goals when you first took office, and you shared them in various ways. But if you can share it with whoever's watching and listening today, what are some of your long-term visions and goals for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office? You're making changes there very quickly, but what do we have to look forward to on the long term?
Well, again, long term, I see us as a core piece of the nation's economic infrastructure. Individually granting rights, but at scale, it's a matter of economic resiliency. Just like the Federal Reserve is focused on the flow of capital with the Department of Treasury and hard dollars, we're focused on the flow of ideas into the economy and making sure that flow is healthy and timely and productive. But what does this mean in practice? Well, again, first, broad and strong. Quality is job one. Patents and trademarks that people can have confidence in, because confidence is what allows the markets to form around them. Second, a system that's fast enough to match the pace of innovation, because if it takes too long, the market's going to move past you and the value of that right is going to diminish before you even receive it. And then third, and importantly, and this is why all the initiatives you see have some underpinning of we want to take in market information. We want to understand what the market's telling us. We want to understand how we're relevant, and where we're not, how we can be relevant. So we want a system that's economically aligned. We're thoughtful about how IP supports U.S. competitiveness, domestic manufacturing, as I mentioned, supply chains, and particularly emerging technologies. So the office is going to continue to evolve. But what we do now is going to set the office up for the next 15 to 20 years. There's when we're getting it right, it's not just administering a system. We're helping to power the next generation of American innovation. And we're very clear-eyed about that. And we're undertaking on all the fronts, as you can see, front end, back end, policy, every area where we can get the message out and be effective to help people understand what's at stake here and how important and how baked into the fundamental design of our country's underpinnings are. That's our mission, and we're going to execute on it well.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. We see with all the outreach that your office does, subscribing on the newsletter there, and all the information that's coming out on social media to just keep track of everything when you finally get to it and you check it off. I have confidence that you and your office are gonna get it done for sure. So congrats and thank you for that. There are inventors that are watching and listening that are at all stages. Some with an idea in their head. Maybe they're somewhere along the way. They have a prototype. They're not sure if they want to possibly license it to earn royalties or to manufacture and start their own business, build a brand. And you've seen it all, Director Squires, whether it's corporations innovating, independent inventors that you're running into and you meet and work with. If you don't mind helping us to give us some words of wisdom, some inspirational words to keep us moving forward with our big ideas and hopefully eventually be in the National Inventor Hall of Fame, which is coming up, one of your amazing events there as well. But give us some final words, Director Squires.
Well, thank you, Brian. I mean, the inspiration is American ingenuity, right? I would say stay the course, hang in there. Think Edison. He was our poster child's small inventor. Have him on your shoulder. He invented the incandescent light bulb on his 1,000th try. And when he was asked about the tries that had gone before, he says, "Well, I also now know 999 ways that don't work." And that was trade secret protection. But he's 1,000th try. It was his 1% inspiration, and he famously said it's 99% perspiration. So whether you're just starting this out or been at it for years, what you're doing matters. You're taking a risk. You're putting something new into the world that didn't exist before. And that's not easy. If it were, you know the saying, right? But here's the part that I'd like people to remember. You're not doing it alone. Your rights as an inventor are not an afterthought. They're in the Constitution, how we started our conversation. It's the only mention of a right in the text of the Constitution itself. And that's how seriously this country takes what you do and appreciates what inventors do and creators do. And so when I say this, I mean it. We've got your back. It's not only our job, but it's our mission. It takes work. Yes, it takes persistence. We understand that. But the system is here for the inventors and creators. We're working every day to make it stronger. We're working every day to make it clearer. We're working every day to make it more accessible. And so just keep going, protect what you dream, and keep dreaming. This country bets on its inventors and creators, and we intend to make sure those bets pay off.
Thank you so much. Undersecretary of the Department of Commerce and the Director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Director Squires, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you keeping the doors of communication open for the independent inventors through National Inventor Club. Thank you for doing what you do, and we will catch up with you again, hopefully very soon.
Hopefully very soon. Thank you, Brian. And
Come
see us at the NFL draft.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Let that sink in. That was Director John Squires of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. I love what he said. Your inventor rights are not an afterthought. They are in the Constitution. And keep going. Protect what you dream. Keep dreaming. Great words of wisdom there. Thank you again, Director Squires. We appreciate your time and for keeping the doors open for independent inventors through National Inventor Club and other initiatives that you have. And that was pretty interesting. How about that? The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office is going to be at the NFL draft. I didn't see that one coming, but that's very interesting. They're showing up everywhere, which is great. They're meeting people where they are. That tells you about the energy of this U.S. Patent and Trademark Office right now. Pretty cool when the patent office is at the NFL draft in the same sentence. That's very interesting. Just a couple real quick reminders, the follow-ups here of just kind of closing us out. If you missed the interview with Jason P. Clark, go watch it. They talk about America's 250th birthday, the National Medal of Technology and Innovation. There's big things happening at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. You can take advantage of some of the opportunities there. The links are in the chat and on the YouTube channel. U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has a lot of social media activity going on. Make sure that you subscribe to their newsletter, follow them on social media. And my latest article that I published on inventionplaybook.com is what every inventor needs to know about AI. So you can take a look. That chat is in there as well. And one last time, if you're not already a subscriber, please go to, whether it's on the app, the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, go to the Inventor Smart Community app. It's free. You can download it. You can be a premium subscriber. It doesn't matter. You set up a nice profile for yourself. We have thousands of inventors in there. Just connect, collaborate, network, find out what's going on. We have so many fun events. Either it's live in person, we do a lot of virtual events, but just get involved. And we appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Keep your ideas moving forward. Thank you again. This is Brian Freed, the founder of National Inventor Club. I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you. Have a great night.